year, members of parliament meet at least 2 times to discuss on key issues plaguing the nation, to re-evaluate the legal system, the constitution, and to look at loopholes that the country is being drained and how to fix it. But the March session of Cameroon's parliament is very important. It is a session where legislatures sit to look at the issues that plagued our constitution and possibly look at ways that they can fine-tune the constitution to meet the growing needs of Cameroonians. Members of parliament in most countries are supposed to be upright men. That is why they are called honorable. Honorable means these are members who look through the mirror and evaluate the issues that their constituencies are going through and how to fix them. They are honorable because they listen to their people. They are honorable because their ears are supposed to be on the ground. They are honorable because they have offices which can be knocked and they can answer. They are honorable because their phones are always open to members of their constituencies. They are honorable because their email is supposed to be available to all. They are honorable because they regularly check their email and can give real-time solutions to their communities. They are honorable because they can appear on the media on a regular basis and talk on issues that affect the nation. However, when we come through the eyes of the needy in Cameroon to look at the concept of who a parliamentarian is, one is tempted to ask the question, what they have been able to do so far to build a nation? The truth here is, most of the members of parliament don't have offices in their respective constituencies. The argument many may give is that they are parliamentarians of the nation, but they should know they are not voted by the nation. They are voted by their respective constituencies to go and serve as their voice to address the issues of the nation. Our parliamentarians in Cameroon seem not to have offices in their constituencies. In fact, some of them have mobile offices in their back and spend a good number of time in Yaoundé. And when bills are to be passed, it is but normal that these draft bills are brought to their respective constituencies and explained to their people and see how they can give an advice to the member of parliament to go and represent them in voting the bill. One thing must be clear is that the nation is divided in different cultural society. That is what we call the socio-demographic factors, which means a law must not be repugnant to natural justice. If voted, it must look into consideration that the socio-cultural aspect, what we call the socio-demographic factor, must be respected. Most of our parliamentarians end up doing one single thing, organizing interquarter football competition. That is what most of them are good at. And after the interquarter football competition, they nicodemously leave and go back to Yaoundé, and only nicodemously come back when there is an election. When there is an election, you start seeing their cars available in the village, not them. When the cars passes, people know that, hey, the MP is around, and they will just want to do one or two things: give Maggi, rice, bags of salt, and sometimes ranches collect comes, they send books and bags. Sometimes the book and bag, if you equate it to his child, it doesn't cost much. A parent can afford that. What the local man in the constituency need is not rice, Maggi, salt, books, bags, interquarter football competition. What they need are parliamentarians that will be able to explain to them the laws that have been passed at the parliament. The recent one was the mobile money tax, which was controversial. Many parliamentarians till now haven't taken out time to go to their respective constituency to organize a town hall and explain to them what that law states, what the bill states, how their community can benefit from a certain legislature, how they hold members of government accountable. The truth is, holding members of government accountable may not be the necessary thing that they will do. The reason is because most of them are contractors. Most of them now execute contracts. Most of them now take contracts and execute. How will you scrutinize a minister in which he or she is the one that gives you contract to be executed. Sometimes they will come to the villages and get a list of young men, promise how they will get them integrated into the public service. And when they take the list, they go and take 1 or 2 people, put in public service, and come back to the village and say, if you don't vote for us, we'll not be able to have a lot of your children get enrolled. What the common man needs are laws that can give them the opportunity to take care of themselves. However, we're asking the question, since the members of parliament have been existing in Cameroon, what have been the benefits of Cameroonians? A case in hand in Menchum division in the northwest region of Cameroon. That division has not had electricity for 9 years since the Anglophone crisis erupted. 9 years, a complete division with thousands of people have not been able to have a kilowatt of electricity. The issue of road is another thing of its own. It has not had good roads since the day God called Abraham. The day God called Abraham, that division have not had good roads. When it's rainy, the people wallow in the mud and they pay high prices of a journey that can cost just 1,000 if all things being equal. On ceteris paribus, when it's the dry season, the people swim in dust and get attracted to bronchitis, pneumonia, and other cancer issues because they inhale the dust, just like the winter session in America. And so is the case of several constituencies and municipalities and divisions across the nation. And I ask the question, when the Minister of Public Works come to the parliament, the members of Menchum division who represent that area, what question do they ask? How do they push for? Do they really take their time to explain to the people of Menchum the development plan that the government has as far as the legislature is concerned? The thing here is, we have taken this time, most of the time, to look for contracts and projects and to appease people that will help us, keep us in that same position. But the common man is being seen most of the time by the parliamentarians as a ballot, not as people who deserve a better life. They are seen as thumb printers. When they look at their constituencies, they look at people who are just to cast the vote for them to stay there, not as people who are supposed to be there to give them advice on how to represent their respective constituency. At the end of the day, the truth is God. You can only kill the terror, not the truth. But you kill the terror, the truth remains to haunt you. We are all passing. No one will stay. This is House of Commons with me, Tamai Jarvis. I want to use this time to wish you a very big happy birthday, Yvonne George Kiwera from Kenya. A happy birthday as you celebrated your birthday on Saturday. May God continue to guide and protect you, Kiwera, Yvonne George, and give you many, many more years. This time that you celebrate your birthday, God should protect you always and bless the works of your hand, Yvonne George Kiwera. Many, many more years to your family, your children, and the entire friends community. God should protect you all as you celebrate your birthday this period. Also, happy Sunday to all those of you joining us, watching us from different parts of the world. I want to wish you happy Sunday, and those of you watching us on social media, happy Sunday to you. Well, happy Sunday to you, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife Joan in the United States of America. Happy Sunday to Maya Kelia. Happy Sunday to Senior Junior. Happy Sunday to you, Mr. Agbo Charles in Canada. In the studio, we are joined by a team of panelists who are here to discuss on this. We have Dr. Alfred Esingie is here with us to discuss on the topic today, looking at the March Parliamentary session, understanding how effective are the members of Parliament as far as Cameroon is concerned. Doctor, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us, Omaja and Mane.
Happy Sunday to you, Mr. Jarvis. Happy Sunday to you, my fellow panelists. I am happy to be here again today to talk about politics and what is happening in Cameroon. I know a lot of people have said it's better we talk. I focus on the marriage and family issue, marriage and relationship issues, but I think I'm also the best person to talk about politics because I come with a multidimensional face about it. I don't come with emotions. I don't come with feelings, because I know that what our people need from us is proper education. If they are educated in the issues of politics, it's going to be wonderful. Unfortunately, most of the debates we hear on the TV, we only hear big grammar, big issues, statistical demands and all the like. And finally, the common man who votes the people up to their offices cannot understand what is happening. So today, we're going to do justice to this topic.
Thank you very much. Also, in the studio, we are joined by the First Deputy National Legal Advisor to the True Democratic Party of Cameroon, and Mr. Fu Bless is the First National Legal Advisor to the True Democratic Party of Cameroon, of Barrister Anyan Lewis. He is here with us all the way from the Southwest region. Mr. Bless, Fu, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Jarvis. Thank you for having me on your panel. Happy Sunday, Doctor. The topic today is very, very topical. It's very, very topical because the March session is currently on the ways, and so many people in their constituencies, they don't even know the agenda or what's the business for the day. So today we are going to be dissecting this topic and we'll enlighten the common man to know one or two legal issues and what they ought to know from their MPs.
Thank you very much. I begin the program with you, Dr. Esingie. The public, in the course of the program, you can participate to also to answer the question as far as it is the topic is concerned. You can call the number which you see on your screen, +2376764313884. Dr. Esingie, we are in the March session. Every time MPs go in and come out, we see new bills, legislature ongoing. The question is, do the common man understand the role of this MP? Do they feel their role? You observe as far as politics is concerned.
Of course, Mr. Jarvis, a lot of things have gone wrong because wrong definitions have been given out. The common man has no definition about roles in the society. They have no idea of how the country is run. They don't even know who is a commissioner, what does he do? And you know, just the common positions, just the common institutions in their communities, they know just nothing about it because so little is done about educating our communities. And that is why I think that programs like this are aimed to help the common man understand what is happening. If you ask a common man who is an MP, he cannot even tell you who an MP is. Now, talking about a common man, about a parliamentary session, what does it mean? He has nothing to talk about it. And then when we talk about the common man, let's not try to make it very common. Let's talk about even the educated people, those who have gone to school.
Oh, those Cameroonians.
Yes. Ask a university graduate who is an MP. He will not be able to tell you who is a parliamentarian in the country. You know, you go to teachers in school. Highest, they know that, okay, there is a parliamentarian, there is a senator and all the like. But when you want to really talk, how does it function in the context of Cameroon, they will not really understand. But of course, we want to say that we are here to be able to bring that thing right down to the common man so that you'll be able to understand. So sometimes I'm going to do injustice to certain topics and to certain questions. Injustice in the sense that I may not want to do it very professional. I want to do it very educative so that our common man, like we said, can understand what we're trying to say. When we talk about common man, no, we are not going to say that, you know, you that did not go to school, or you that are in a village, or you that are somewhere around maybe one village in Bamenda, in Boya, in Yaoundé, and so on. We're talking about those who are supposed to know how the country runs. So today the question we are talking about is the parliamentarian. Who is he? Who is a parliamentarian? Of course, you know, in every nation of the world, there are people called parliamentarians. They always go to the parliaments. The house they go to discuss on issues about the nation is in the parliament. And what they talk about, it's about, one, to make laws of the country. They want to make laws. Laws. What kind of laws? Those kind of things that if you decide to do something wrong about it, they would put you in prison, or they would hold you accountable for some of the things that you do. That is why they'll tell you that To be innocent does not cause you to be ignorant. To be ignorant does not cause you to be innocent. It simply means that the fact that you did not know does not mean that you have not committed a crime. So these are the people who put the law. They are there to decide on what the country should do and how the country should run. Again, a parliamentarian is someone who represents his constituency. Constituency is your quarter, your area, your division, your subsections, and all where you find yourself. They represent you people at the level of the parliament, the country, the general country. They are there for that purpose, to represent you, to talk on your behalf. Like you complained today that the roads in Boya is bad, it is the parliamentarian that has to take it to parliament and to talk about it, because we have also seen powerful senators who speak verbously in the parliament. You've seen a lot of them, like Senator Mbelamuki, which is a very powerful senator. We have known him from the time he was a mayor, right, when he became a parliamentarian, and then he is now a senator, doing very powerfully. And if you hear him talk at the parliament, you understand that he is there to represent the common man. That is one of the duties that the parliamentarian is there. Now we're going to go about, they are also the people that control the actions of the government. The parliamentarians are there to control actions of the government. It means that the government should not do anything that is more than what is decided. If we have spoken one thing, that this is the law of the country, or this is part of the constitution, the government should not go out of it. Now it will be the duty of the parliamentarians to take upon the government and tell them that what you have done is not the right thing, and they will insist on it until the government does the right thing. The parliamentarians are also in charge of accepting some of the international agreements. Not even some, every international agreement, parliamentarians must look into it and see whether it falls in line with agreement or constitutional issues. So
the interest of the people.
The interest of the people, it must be. So these are the things that the parliamentarian is standing there for us. So every time we talk about voting a parliamentarian, we are saying that we are sending someone to represent, one, the country; two, the people that he lived with, the people who voted him. Number two, we are saying that when something is wrong in the country, we are going to hold the parliamentarians responsible for the things that worked or the things that did not work. So that is exactly what it is. So that it brings us to the point that the common man is supposed to benefit from these parliamentarians. Do they really benefit from it? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be handling a lot of those things today. Let me just end here now. We'll come back to that.
Okay, Barrister Bless from the True Democratic Party of Cameroon. And when we look at the parliamentarians we have, or the parliament, Cameroon's parliament, in nominative, what is, but is that what ought to be, but is that what is, as far as meeting with their role is concerned?
Well, Mr. Moderator, I will tell you that it's far from reality. When you look at the constitution talks about parliamentarians being able to make legislation and controlling government actions. We find a lot of scandals happening here and there in the country, and these parliamentarians, they are so indifferent about it. We don't hear them sensitizing the people or giving their objectives or holding the government accountable. In a pure situation, we have the separation of powers, where we have the president, head of the executive, we have the parliamentarians, and the senators who are under the legislative arm of government, and we have the judiciary. You see that the constitution gives them the power to control government actions. Let's even forget about making laws. We have very archaic laws in Cameroon, laws which do not reflect the modern realities of today. You find laws which were made in 1970, 1990. The reality of today is very different. When it comes to making laws, we'll say that maybe they've not been doing their job. But talking about holding the government accountable or controlling government actions, do they do that? So on today's program, we'll be dissecting on this topic on how effective are MPs serving their constituents. So yeah, thank you.
Now let me continue with you from your observation. From when you entered the university, let's say your opposite level, understanding how Cameroon's political landscape is moving till now, can you say you're satisfied with the way in which the members of parliament serve their constituencies?
I'll say I'm far from. I'm not even impressed. I should not be sharing my opinion, but let's be objective. It should not be as if I'm biased against members of parliament.
No,
but
you're a Cameroonian.
yeah,
So
let's be realistic.
right.
Some people feel like you're being emotional or you're just castigating, but they don't meet with the realities. How many of them have offices in their constituencies? How many of them organize conferences or to talk to their people, town halls? Ask their people, what do you people want? What are your needs? What are your plights? How many private bills have gone through parliament over the years? Majority of these bills are government bills. So what are they for? For the paid GMs? So we have to hold them accountable. They have to hold the government accountable, and we have to hold them accountable. So we have to talk about the issue of accountability. So most of our MPs, I will say, they only go there for their PDMs because the people in their constituencies, I will say, they don't see the impact. They don't even know, even if they have parliamentarians. Look at where we are coming from. You have roads, they'll do a road today. Tomorrow it's bad. Nobody is held accountable. Next month, next year, they are doing the same project over and over and over and over and over and over. Our parliamentarians, they pass there, they see those things. But have they held anybody accountable for these things?
Now I hear they are using sand and cement to fix road.
Some people are saying they are panel beating the roads. So those are cosmic solutions. It will not last because when it rains, it gets bad. So our parliamentarians, they are not doing their job. They owe us a lot. We look up to them.
Okay, we're coming back to you. Dr. Esingie, have you ever sat in your constituency and your member of parliament called for a town hall to say, okay, let us discuss about a bill? When this mass session came, did your member of parliament in your constituency brief you people on the agenda?
That is if we even know who are the members of parliament in our constituencies. That is if at all we know. I am talking about situations where we have parliamentarians, we don't know about them. We have only, heard that they are parliamentarians in Fako North, Fako East, and all just like that. We have a few of them who are dynamic, who have what it takes to meet the society, and like Honorable Malomba, who is doing a very powerful work in Fako. You cannot do anything in Fako without feeling the presence of Honorable Malomba Esingie. He is one of those people that have been doing a lot of great things that you cannot come to Fako without knowing that there is an MP in Fako. I just talked about Sintombela Moki there, that you can't come to Boya without knowing that people like that are existing. You can't come to Boya. You can't come to Fako even in Southwest. What we are talking about, Southwest. These are the MPs who have stood the test of times. They have taken the bull by the horn. They meet the people. These are people who attend different meetings, talking to people about the day-to-day running of the country. Sometimes people are in crisis. They visit them in those places and see how to handle some things. We must also agree that even though they have their limits, their weaknesses and their shortcomings, however, they have shown us that they are ready to serve the people. They have given their time. They can speak. We have heard people talk. We have heard them speak in their videos have gone online. Viral videos that have gone where, senators and parliamentarians.
At one point in time, we heard Tombela Moki was saying that, what are we going to tell the people?
Good.
When the roads are not being constructed, when promises are made, they are not kept, and all those things. And this is not the first time he has been vocal.
We have seen Tombela Moki in Limbe around the stadium. He was videoing the roads that were newly created and showing it on the television. He showed it everywhere, and I know television picked it. It went viral all over the world. See the kind of roads that people are coming to give us. Those are parliamentarians who make us to know that they can truly defend us in places of authority. But the rest, I think a lot of things are wrong. You want to get the opposition, parliamentarians for the opposition. You want to get parliamentarians, even some CPD and parliamentarians who will be giving one or two excuses, just like others. We're asking ourselves the question, these ones who are
within the same system.
With the same system. Sometimes maybe the same party.
The same party.
So you ask, why are these ones visible? Why are their works very clear? Why do we see them on the streets? Why do we see them in funerals where people talk with them one-on-one?
They are attending university events at the private government, wherever.
Churches will have occasions and they will invite them.
Yes.
They will be there to take part in those meetings. While they are there, they fit into the community and the society. That's what we're trying to talk about this thing. It's not as if we frown against our other parliamentarians. We're just trying to tell you that the intention or the reason you went there is not to be a big man, is to serve. And in service, you have to be in touch with the people. You must be in touch with the community. You must be in touch with the village council. You must be in touch. We don't have to see you only doing elections, or when you are, wanting to get the people of your constituency, you come and then divide rice and then gather women, pay women groups to gather. You show that you see the population is crowded in front of you, and we think that the population came because of you. No, you paid them to be there. Paid mobilizations, and that's exactly what we frown at. We want to see something that is organic. We want to see something that you do it and the people come because of what you have been offering to them, even when elections were not there. That's exactly what we're trying to talk about, and we will put it clear to you, dear parliamentarian, dear senator, that we voted for you because we thought that you will be communicating with us. Then you will take our mind to the government, then you will take our mind to the parliament, and then we will be able to cooperate and collaborate until we achieve. Okay, this particular tenure of the parliament. It has been, is getting to 6 years now instead of 5 years. 1 year was added for continuity. You want to ask yourself,
and there's a possibility of extension because
something like that. We want to look at it something like that. When we say continue,
possibility,
we are looking at the constitution.
Yes,
because I know Cameroon very well. Cameroon has hardly gone out of the constitution. They always try to stretch the limits, but in most cases they always stay within the structure. So we always believe that, especially in situations where the constitution spells out clearly, Cameroon governments don't go out of it.
Yeah, I understand, but also they are in the March session. They may be constitutional amendment and possibly extension.
The extension will be based on constitutional agreement.
Yeah, that's why I say that.
That's why I say they don't go out of it.
Yes, they will not go out.
They don't go out of it. Means that it cannot go out of this year. It must be within this year.
That may depend on the outcome of the March section.
Not necessarily. It will be within this year, because we are like looking at, all right, in case, because we want to say that I don't just want to go out of this thing that I'm talking now, so that we don't just get we'll come back to that, so that we'll be talking about these things. Now, our parliamentarians, I am telling you, this Honorable Malomba Imboya is a magistrate by profession. But what this man gives out of the people, if I tell you that I've never met him one-on-one, you'll be surprised. I've never met Honorable Malomba one-on-one. I've never met him. But I've followed his activities online. I've followed his activities in our WhatsApp groups, FACO WhatsApp groups and everything. I have seen that this young man means so much for his people. His people feels his presence, just like Senator Belamoki. These are the people that are talking, that it's not a secret. These are open things that everyone can testify. That's why I can proudly praise those who are doing well, so that the others who are still joking or playing with it should come out and do something, so that we can see them.
Okay.
Now, you should also know that our parliamentarians cannot do beyond the system that puts them there. We're going to come that.
Yeah, we're going to come to that. Now, the first deputy national legal advisor to the True Democratic Party of Cameroon. When we look at the current dispensation of Cameroon's parliament, one may be tempted to think that their constituency only matter when it comes to vote, but when it comes to practicality, they don't. You are from a constituency. Were you people, or have you people ever been consulted, or after a session, have you people ever had a briefing from your members of parliament?
I will categorically say no. We've never been briefed. Even when they are in Parliament, we don't even know the agenda. If not of some of these blogs online that will tell you that this might be on the topic or things like that. So we only see most of these people doing elections or getting what they want. And you have to understand that the Parliament of Cameroon is made up of 180 parliamentarians. And out of 180 parliamentarians, we have 152, which are from CPDM. The next is UNDP with 9. I think you have SDF, PCRN with 5. You realize that if we want change, the change has to come from the majority, because even if the minority, they decide anything, you know, it has to do with the majority. So some people tell us that you have party guidelines and things like that. We've seen parliamentarians from the CPCM and senators from the CPCM speaking truth to power. If they can do it, it means the other 152 parliamentarians, they can do same. You have to go out of party policies. We have to look at what is good for our beloved country, Cameroon. Are they doing that? How many private bills have they been passed in Parliament? So we see that they are far from reality. Very, very far from reality. Parliamentarians ought to go around their constituencies, looking at or talking to their people, trying to understand their realities and their aspirations, and tabling same to Parliament. A parliamentarian is not there on his own accord. Without the people you represent, you are nothing. How many of them do that? You see our roads are very, very bad. One thing that is plaguing the nation Cameroon is trash. Everywhere you go, Douala, everywhere.
It's visible at the center.
It's glaring. You see it. Secondly, you talk about water, electricity. Those are things which a Cameroonian in the north they are facing. What are our parliamentarians doing? How many private bills have they proposed to curb some of these things?
Also, if you follow up the project, because do the people even know the kind of project that have been allocated in their constituencies? Because this is what they discuss in the Parliament. When they say, okay, the minister comes for the budget, they know that the minister budget is based on this project, this project, this project. Do the people even know the project allocated in their constituencies?
They don't. They don't. Or to even hold these ministers accountable, okay, you come and you submit your budget. Convince the parliamentarians, ask those ministers questions. You are asking for this amount, what do you want to do? So that you have a rundown of the projects they want to carry. So that eventually you can hold those people accountable that, oh, you were there before us and you said your ministry needs this billions, you want to do this and that. This thing has not been done, that one has not been done. What have you been doing? They don't hold the government accountable. In fact, accountability is far-fetched, because I'll go back to the president of my party, Barrister Anyang Lewis. There's a famous provision of Article 66 of the Constitution which talks of declaration of assets. Nobody does it. We go for elections, parliamentarians, or what, you don't know what they own. It's a secret. So these are some of the things that we have to build a better Cameroon. The first thing is accountability. If you cannot hold the powers that be accountable, some of these things will continue going on. If us in the constituencies, we cannot hold our parliamentarians accountable, or if they feel like we mean nothing to them, or I'll still be a parliamentarian without you people, they will continue doing what they are doing. They don't brief us. In fact, we don't even know some of the discussions when they go to the parliament. They ought to come in their constituencies, ask their people, what are your plights? What are your worries? When they are going to parliament, they are tabling their people's plight and not what they think is necessary for them. And during this mass session, you were talking about the mandate. The constitution says 5 years. One thing I will say about Cameroonian laws is that they've drafted them with a lot of loopholes. We talk about separation of powers. The president should not have that power to extend mandate. If the president is extending your mandate, you owe your mandate to him.
Not the constitution.
Not the constitution. The constitution provides for 5 years. Okay, they say you can. Section 15 of the constitution brings in ground for extension.
So that's a loophole.
That's a loophole. it says there are supposed to be justifications why they are doing that. We don't have any clear justifications why these elections have been postponed. Should MPs deliberate on a bill to extend their mandate? Isn't that conflict of interest? If you are a parliamentarian and a bill comes before you to extend your mandate, will you say no? So there are a lot of controversies. We talk of separation of power. The same constitution gives the president the largesse to extend mandates. It does not make sense. It doesn't.
So your party...
5 years should be 5 years.
What's your party going to propose?
You know, our party, the True Democratic Party of Cameroon, we believe in having a robust constitution that reflects the aspiration of the people. We should respect the constitution. A mandate is 5 years. 5 years should be 5 years, no matter what. We've never extended the mandate of the president. We always make sure that presidential elections are within that time frame. We should try to make sure for, okay, talking about parliamentary elections, what about municipal elections? Their mandates have been extended for, I think, about 15 months. So that's an abuse of the process. People who are elected, their mandate is extended. Is that democracy?
That could be advanced democracy now. You know, we are in an advanced democracy.
I think there's something we are not getting on this note. That's why I say we are here to educate ourselves and educate the public. We must educate the public on the right things. For us to say that there is no reason why these extensions are coming up is not true. Which we also know that the Constitution makes provisions for that. And if the Constitution makes a provision for extension, it means that there should be reasons why. And of course, these reasons were buttressed, which gave them rights to extend it for 1 year, and of which is going to end on the 30th of March. Now, the president has the power, the veto power, to extend dates, especially when the security of the nation is not in order, it's at stake. The president has the right to do that. And to say that the parliamentarians decided to extend their mandate, the truth about it is that the state at which the country was operating at that moment, you and I know, it took a lot of administrative tactics to manage some things. And again, there is no place in the law that a particular statement become finite. That is why there's always room for an appeal. That is to say that even though the law says this, there's a room for an appeal, because there may be another law that counteracts the other existing law. And that is exactly what happens with the Constitution. Except
that falls to what he's saying, that
yes,
there's a lot of loopholes.
Yes. When you say loopholes, you may not be right again, because politics, just like law, is not on the truth base. It's rather the logical base. It's logic. That is why, no matter how what you say appears the truth, there are things on ground that are called facts, which should be presented for it to be approved and for you to win a case.
Yeah, but that's why he's saying here that...
No, when you say loopholes, I'm still talking about the issue of loopholes, where there are provisions that are given, which is lawful. These provisions are not out of the world. It happens in other countries.
But when you look at the case of Cameroon, is it not just giving all powers to the president, making the president above the Constitution? Look at Article 66 of the Constitution, Declaration of Assets. The law was passed about Article 66. It was voted in Parliament. The president signed it into law. But now they tell you that no, there is a text of implementation that the president needs to sign before that particular provision go into effect. Which means the text of implementation is different from the Constitution.
Okay, what are we blaming? Are we blaming the Constitution, or we are blaming the parliamentarians?
No, that's why he's saying.
Or is it the president we are talking about? That is exactly what we're trying to say. That talking about all these institutions, all of them have their own provisions in the law.
Okay.
You cannot assess the president the same as you talk about the parliament. The president has his vetoes. that he has the right to say it, even if the parliament have said something. But in certain situations, especially when it comes to the security of the country, the president should be able to carry out a veto in order to put the country to go well. Now, especially when it comes to the parliament, there should be no vacuum. There shouldn't be any vacuum, because maybe their term of office is over. When running an election takes a lot of funds, and we must agree that much funds were put for the presidential elections, which, if you want to run the parliamentary elections and maybe the municipal elections, you will find the country wanting not be able to meet up with the day-to-day running of the election program. So that is why they may push dates because of those reasons. Again, they may push dates because the president thinks that the atmosphere under which that election should be run is not in order. And I think that is what is happening in Cameroon now.
Doctor,
yes.
I would like to say, first things first.
Yes.
If you want to go to the constitution Cameroon had when it was a federal country, there was a provision which says changing that constitution is illegal. We have to have a constitution which is robust, because when you talk about the hierarchy of norms, the constitution ranks highest than any other norm. We have a constitution which has a lot of loopholes. You cannot give and you take. Okay, you spoke about extending mandates requiring money. There's this logic that we were saying that twin elections. These elections, it came to a period where they were almost in a similar period because of the extensions. You talk about elections being costly.
There is an extension that pushed it to almost to be on the same period.
The same period. That was an extension.
And for originally, reason of finance.
When you talk about finance, doctor, the president of the republic in the days, we've seen decrease of him borrowing day in, day out. If there's no money, he should sign a degree and get money. Let's conduct the election. You cannot talk about funds if they borrow money to do other things.
We also not say that the elections that were conducted were not probably funds were not so
he said the aspect of limited resources or how much was spent on conducting the presidential election. That's why I'm saying that we came to this scenario because these mandates were extended. If election was held when it was supposed to be, it would not have coincided with the presidential election. Okay, now you're talking about municipal elections. Now people will come and they'll give you the excuse of resources and things like that. Those are lame justifications. Very, very lame. The constitution says 5 years mandate. 5 years should be 5 years. If it was in the interest of do you agree that as a lawyer that is what the constitution said? That's why when you say 5 years mandate is that's what the constitution said. That's why I said here earlier. I said here earlier that the constitution of Cameroon is not something I'll classify as a constitution. Try to get constitutions from other countries. Our constitution should be about, is it 16 pages or what? Very, very limited. It gives, I made mention earlier that in a true separation of powers, where you have the executive, you have the legislative, you have the judiciary, there should be the separation of powers. If the constitution provides for MPs to be voted for a mandate of 5 years, and the same constitution comes again and gives the provision of the president of the republic to extend their mandate, does that make sense? I made mention earlier that if you are an MP and a bill is being tabled to extend your mandate, will you deny that type of a bill? First of all, it's conflict of interest. And if you want to look at it, ordinary laws should not be varying what the constitution provides. The constitution ranks highest. If the constitution is reduced to a tool of convenience, where when it's convenient for us not to conduct elections, section 15 sub 4 says the president of the republic under these circumstances should do this or do that. The problem comes from the constitution. I'll tell you, CPDM jurists, they are very smart. They know what they do. In these laws, they bring a lot of loopholes and things like that. That should not be the case. Look at the United States of
the constitutions. Who were the people who drafted it?
No, I'm coming. Look at the United States of America. Yes. How old is the United States of America? Over 150 years. They've never changed their constitution. You only have the 4th Amendment bill. How old is the Republic of Cameroon?
When you say they have not changed the constitution, they're talking about amendment. What does it mean?
That amendment
is an amendment.
When you talk about that amendment,
yes.
not so. The amendment does not change a lot. We have instances where we've changed the form of the state.
Touch the core.
The core
of the nation.
The core of the nation.
Can just do with addition as times goes on.
We left from a federal state, a unitary state. So we have a constitution
like the core of the federal was that it should not be touched. That was the core.
That was the core.
Can adjust maybe voting rights
and other things.
Arms rights.
Your right to please the king. It does not touch the core of a constitution. We have a constitution where it pleases people, they amend it. Because something is legally provided for does not mean it's right. And that is one thing I'm talking about the constitution of Cameroon. Try to look at the constitution of other countries and you read at it. You read. There's no way the constitution will be giving the president the powers to extend mandates of parliamentarians.
No.
He who pays the piper.
They tell the truth, of course.
What is happening in the United States of America right now, where there's a war going on in Iraq, and there's a mixed feeling that the president used his veto to carry out certain decisions, and he is in process for that. What can you explain? It means that there were provisions given for him to do that, because the president cannot outrightly go against the Constitution of America for that matter. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that everywhere in the world, these particular loopholes we are talking about exist. Now, if we want to argue about elections are things that can be changed. But when we talk about the core values of the nation, if you argue that, that's okay.
But elections also fall within the core value of the nation.
It falls within the core value of a nation, because I was talking about separation of powers. You having the executive, the legislative,
the
judiciary.
Yes.
Now, it's a core value that members of parliament should be there for 5 years. It's very, very important. Their mandate should be 5 years.
Can you cite some of the infringements into the different institutions?
Can I cite
some of the infringements where one overlaps to other?
When you talk about the state of Cameroon and you look at the constitution, you see that in all arms of government,
yes,
in a certain aspect, the president is omnipresent. We are talking about these legislative elections. The president has the right to extend mandates. Is that not influencing decisions?
And a bill not tables for extension.
A bill comes from him for extension.
Does the constitution allow that?
And they vote for the bill.
That's why I started this debate by saying we need a robust constitution which reflects the aspect, the aspiration of the people.
Yes.
I started with that statement.
Come back to the role of parliamentarians.
Yes, that's why he said
we're supposed to be carrying out these functions you are talking about. So do we blame the president? No. Do we blame other maybe institutions? No. We are talking about the parliament.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Are the lawmakers.
That's why he was saying
we have the right to also review the constitution.
That's why he was saying that the members of parliament have failed because they allow a lot of loopholes and they don't see into it that these loopholes are closed because it meets their personal interest. That's why he pointed out about the issue of the bills that is tabled before them for their own extension of mandate from the conflict of interest. Because you cannot legislate over your own issue, it becomes repugnant to natural justice, which is not fair.
It is not fair. Because when you look at the constitution of the Cameroon, it says the president of the republic shall ensure the constitution is respected.
Yeah, and he is not saying that's illegal. Whatever the president is doing is legal.
It's there in the constitution.
Legal. But that is why I'm saying that it is constitutional.
It is.
And anything that is constitutional, I beg for us not to question them, because it is constitutional. Rather, we question the people who carried out such maybe decisions or whatever. That's why I beg.
Okay, we'll be coming back to your argument. Let me take on some messages. Those of you watching us here, you can call, please. You can call and actually make your position also known. This one says, good afternoon and all in the studio. Thank you for the topic of discussion today. Some of us we are learning. From the definition of who a parliamentarian is, I strongly think that most of these parliamentarians have to be schooled on their role. From the definition, one can be tempted to say we are yet to have a parliamentarian from Bamenda. This one right is happy Sunday to everyone in the House of Commons and to all the panelists as well as all the televiewers. I am Ella Divine writing from Victoria. I have only one thing to say. The so-called parliamentarians, the so-called upcoming legislative and municipal elections, what I want to say is that any Cameroonian who is still thinking of going to vote again in the name of parliamentary or municipal is a dash, because as we speak right now, this country, Cameroon, is already at a threshold of dash, because the people, even the population in this country, are not ready to fix or change things in the country for better. Ella Divine writing from Nimbus. Someone was trying to call us. You can call as far as you remain civil. Happy Sunday to you, Mr. Jarvis, and your guest on your panel. Jarvis, to be sincere with you, parliamentarians are only good at organizing interquarter football competition and not more than that. Uncle Charles from Bonamusadi. Uncle Charles from Bonamusadi. This alright is happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. The parliamentarians have failed in their duties. Even the one that doctor is citing there is just there for political optics. The reality on the ground in Boya is different. When we look at the reality of Boya, ask doctor, when last did Honorable Malemba call us to discuss on the agenda of the parliament? When last did he call us to explain the bills that were tabled at the parliament? When last did he call us to discuss on issues concerning the constitutions that does not meet the aspiration of the people? If you look at road, the only thing I can agree with doctor is that of Senator Mbelamoki Charles, who is vibrant, who is open, who call people and discuss on issues affecting their community. Happy Sunday to you guys. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please, can you shift away from your TV? Please, why you call us shift away from your TV? Because you have a delay from the perspective of your television. Let me take on this one. And this one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. In the Northwest region, the only parliamentarian I know that exists is Ngala Gerard, because I've been hearing about him. He's not from my constituency. I am from Menchum division, but when I hear Ngala Gerard all the time, Ngala Gerard, it makes me to see that it is Ngala Gerard who is the only parliamentarian representing the Northwest region. So the Northwest region has only one parliamentarian, Ngala Gerard.
Okay. Like Mr. Jarvis, let me try to talk about something that is another name that came forth because somebody felt their presence. Someone is questioning our maybe judgments on parliamentarians, which simply means that we are trying to say that it's not as if they have done everything, but at least they are showing us that they are serious. Take, for example, the Honorable Ngala Gerard we are talking about. Ngala Gerard is that kind of a powerful, dynamic person that is felt all over the nation. He doesn't just operate like a parliamentarian, he operates like any other thing you can name when it comes to leadership. He is a young man, very young, but his impact in the nation is felt everywhere he enters. So that kind of person, we don't even want to associate him with parliaments or whatever. We want to see him as a potential minister or someone that can rightly govern regions. Those are the kind of people we are talking about. With their dynamism, with their potential, with what they put into the community and the society. Look on Kambe. Have you seen the roads of Kambe? Have you seen how Kambe is kept in peace in the face of war? That's for one man, parliamentarian, who went up there and took the bulls by the horn. Have you seen how he puts his powers, his prowess, even in Douala here, when we're talking about the peace of the country? This parliamentarian did his best. Are we going to say that he doesn't have a pitfall or he doesn't have mistakes? That is what we're talking about. When we want to condemn or want to criticize a particular group of people, we should be careful that we do it.
Thank you.
Understanding what others are doing. Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Good day, sir. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Maurice. I'm calling from Amanda.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Yeah, it's a wonderful program, and I admire my brother, the doctor, and the other politician. But I want to contribute in regard to the parliamentarians.
Yes, sir. Right on.
Yeah. We used to have parliamentarians when there was pure democracy in this country. Before the coming of the socio-political crisis in the Northwest and Southwest region, where many parliamentarians took advantage of this crisis, where they are not the pure representative of the people. Most of the parliamentarians that we have today in the Northwest, I'm talking in regard to the Northwest and Southwest region, are people who they the community don't even know them. Don't even know that it doesn't reflect the true representative of the people. These are just opportunists who are there in the parliament to fill their stomach. We will have many parliamentarians. How can you be a politician without even having a plot? On the advantage, you took advantage because all of the Northwest and Southwest will find parliamentarians from the ruling government, the CPDM, whereby during election, the lockdowns imposed by the armed groups, the Amber Boys, scare the population. These are people selected from the Central Committee in the CPDM to be parliamentarians. So they are answerable to the Central Committee, not of the people. How many of them go to their constituency? They are there and clapping their hands. It is at this time now they are strategizing how to build rice and some Maggi to come and deceive the community. Some will even do it in Yaoundé and go back and fill the forms, make the Amber guys to impose lockdown. So there is no real parliamentarian as far as Northwest and Southwest is concerned that reflect the people's choice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From that's your opinion. This one says, dear Mr. Tar, the gap in our constitution and electoral code were initially created to allow the CPDM to exploit them. We need a new Cameroon constitution. And you that's kind of Ms. Anquine in Bamenda. Hello. Hello. Please, when you call us, be snap. This one say, tell Apostle that the parliamentarians do not represent the people. Apostle, what has Apostle? The Apostle just articulated some of the role they must put in place, and also said, Honorable Mayomba, to a certain level is being seen. At least the others are not being seen. This he is being seen. Okay, this other. Good afternoon. Please, can you shift away from your TV?
Yeah, I've gone away.
Yes, right on. There will always be delay from your end. Right on.
Yeah, I just need to contribute in the program.
Yes, right on.
Okay, yes, I'm calling from Limbe.
Yes, right
I
on.
don't want to contribute. Let me say something here concerning the parliamentarians. Like one of our panelists talks about the role and the extension of their mandate. This is not the first time. It's just a matter of the presidency takes 7 years, and in a way of compensating because they have the majority in parliament, the presidency takes 7 years and gives them 6 years, right up to the municipal councillors. And one of the things I want us to understand here, if the parliamentarians themselves, if they know their role, certain things that we're experiencing in Cameroon today will not take place. Let me cite one example. You can remember some years ago, 70-something billion left somewhere for computers for students. Where were those parliamentarians? Because one of the rules is to control government action. The money came from where? The money came from where? A parliamentarian, one of the panelists talk about organizing football competition. Yes, because they have been suffocated. They don't do their role, so they hide behind things of the population. They are voted there to vote laws that will govern us, and not to be doing the things they are doing today, because what they are supposed to be doing, they can't do it. Their hands are tied by the executive. That is what we are saying here, and I feel very, very sorry for, I don't know whether it's a man they call the apostle there, what he's trying to do. Remember the constitution that we have today. He was asking the constitution. That is Joseph Owona constitution. And who was Joseph Owona? I raised my case there.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, while you call us, just go straight to your point and stop indexing individuals as far as the topic is concerned. Let me take on this message.
Let's respond to some of those.
Yes, briefly, so that you respond also.
Those there are some sensitive things that people have to be very careful. Sometimes don't talk because you feel angry or you feel annoyed or what you have to do. When we talk about some of the opposition leaders who came out today are part of those maneuvers in the constitution and all those things.
Yeah, even the anti-terrorism law was
What are you
drafted
talking
by
about?
some of the
Well,
countries.
Kamto did not play a role in this thing. Is it not part of the opposition that is fighting something that he created? Let's
have 2 minutes. Let him 2 minutes to come to you.
Okay.
Yes, because when we want to be angry, we should be able to find out where some of these faults are coming from. The faults are coming from the very people who feel that they are angry with the system. That system that is put in place was put in place by some people, and most of them have come out and fight what they put in place. They don't know that that is what they did. So I'm trying to say that when we are analyzing politics, we analyze it politics based on certain concepts, not just how the common man will feel or whatever. But that is also very important. And I want to say that when we come here, we are trying to educate you on what is happening in the country. We are not trying to tell you what we have done or what we can do. No. We are trying to tell you what is actually happening in the country, because we have cited some parliamentarians here. Like when somebody is saying that there is no parliamentarians in Southwest and Northwest, if you say that kind of a thing, you are making a mistake, because there are some few of them who are doing their best. We have cited Honorable Ngalajerat, we have cited Belamoki, we have cited Honorable Malomba, and so on. If we want to go down to municipal and to mayor, we'll be talking about Mayor Ekome Sako, Ekome Mesoso, who is doing powerfully in Tiko, that everybody can see what this man is doing in Tiko. So when we begin to say that we want to criticize all of these guys, we should be careful how we join all of them in one place. No, it will be very wrong. Let's separate them. At least those who are trying, we should say they are trying. Those who are not doing anything. Because you want to talk about mayors. Look at mayors. Look at what Tiko has become. Look at his first tenure. That's what we're looking at. So we congratulate this man and tell him to do better next time.
Okay.
We congratulate the other ones and we say do better next time. Okay. That's what we are saying.
Okay, Mr. Jarvis, I started this topic talking about the Constitution. When I was in law school, there's a course we did, English and Legislative Drafting. I want to debunk what people said about some people who were in government who are the ones who drafted the law. Normally,
you played a role.
No, it's not about playing a role. When you want to get a legislation, so you have the instructing officers. The instructing officers leave the drafter out of it. The instructing The instructing officer gives the drafters what they want, what they expect. So the drafter is following instructions. It's not the drafter who is drafting. At times you do it, you send it for review, and they tell you what they want. That's the process of drafting legislations. You have the instructing.
Okay, the process is there's an instructing officer.
There's an instructing officer.
Who is from which arm? From the legislative or the
probably the legislative. It depends on who is sponsoring.
Okay, if it's a private member bill, if it's
a private member bill, probably the parliamentarian, they have sat with their team and they've done it. Because when we talk about these bills coming from parliament, it does not mean those parliamentarians are the ones drafting. They get commission and they get people who are experts in those domains, and they tell them what they want. Their aspirations, they give them instructions. I want you to draft this type of a bill, and when you do it, you send it back for review. So if somebody was the one who drafted a law, it does not mean that person is the one behind it. He was following instructions from the instructing officer. And that's why I was saying that we need a robust constitution, a constitution which reflects the aspiration of the people of Cameroon. We should not have a constitution which...
So on this note, if I get clarity on this note, it shows that those who drafted the law who are members of the opposition, let's say for the case of Lane Bandam, the anti-terrorism law, the instructing officer came from the government, because it's not the private member.
Yes, the instructing officer comes from the government. And now, this topic today, we are talking about our parliamentarians. How effective are they? How effective they are. Now, I'm coming back to them.
Yes.
Because now, when they bring these bills, they have to consent to it. They can ask for it to be reviewed.
Which means that we should not blame the instructing officer.
They are not doing their jobs. I'm coming. They are not doing their jobs. Because these laws, when they come, the parliamentarians are there. You have to read, you go through. You call this person that explain, what do you mean by this? What are the implications of this? No, this does not... So, some of these things, it boils down to the MPs. Because before those laws come out from that parliament, they have the right, they have the powers to make sure that what does not conform to the aspiration of the people of Cameroon, it does not go out. And this thing will be easy when we have a constitution which reflects our aspirations as a people.
But let me ask you a question. Let me do a quick follow-up. Let's agree that a bill was tabled, and in this current constitution, why have some of them not decided to say, okay, because of this, I voted about this bill, the people voted yes, I voted no, and the bill was passed, so I'm resigning because I don't want to be part of the process.
That is what we're talking about.
Okay. When you talk about that, I talk about integrity. In our society of today, so many of these people don't have that integrity.
That's why they are called honorable.
So I made mention here that so many of them, they are there for their PDMs. Just go ratify anything, you get your allowances, and you go home.
There are people that have resigned in America because Trump gave them something that they didn't want to do.
No, but
we have Maggie Taylor Green, one of Trump's.
But at the end of it, at the end of the day, the only MP that comes to my mind, there's this person who used to be an MP for
Honorable
SCF.
Joseph Weber.
An MP for SCF.
Yes, Honorable Joseph Weber.
Honorable Joseph Weber. That's the only person that I saw standing up, and he had to. I don't know what happened.
He left.
He left. That's the only person we can talk about. So now I spoke.
That has done what? What did he do?
What you're saying? What did he do?
Yes.
He stood up and he challenged certain things.
Senator Belamoki did not do that same thing in the parliament.
No.
Don't we have videos going on?
No,
online
you spoke about somebody retiring. What he did cost him his position. He could have sat quiet and he would have still been there.
He didn't retire, he ran away.
I'm not playing down what Senator Belamoki has been doing.
Yes.
Not so. I'm not playing that down. But we are saying that our MPs are not doing their role. And one thing that I want to say again, I started by saying that the parliament has 180 parliamentarians.
Yes.
The ruling party has 152.
Good.
152. Decisions go by way of a majority vote. So most of these bills, they are government bills. So even if the minority has a dissenting voice, it will still go through.
Have you also verified how many of those senators and parliamentarians are coming from different regions that have right even in their parties? We have someone who stood as a presidential candidate from CPDM this year,
yeah,
because he refused that something should not go on the way they go on.
You are a member of party. Even at one point, you had late Justice Ayapo Abine,
yes,
who pulled away from the party and said he would not endorse the presidential extension. The presidential extension was a member of CPDM, and he refused to vote and pulled away from the party.
152 is not everyone is. I'm telling you, because
it means that
I talk about Senator Belamoki. He is in CPDM. As a matter of fact, he's a diehard of CPDM. But when it comes to talking to the truth to the parliament, he does it.
Okay.
What stops our other brothers who are in the parliament?
Let's talk on this call. We're coming back. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Tamai. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm Jacob from Bamenda.
Yes, Mr. Jacob, right on.
Yeah, I want to contribute by letting us know that when we talk about what is not working, we are talking about the system. There are good people in that system, but the way the system is, the people cannot function. Even if they have the desire to vote against whatever has been tabled, it will still not work. Because when they go, the system will fix it to look the way it's supposed to look, the way they want. Now, take for example, the bill that they voted in 2008, moving the term of office of the head of state from 5 years to 7 years, and then eliminating term limit. Who was that bill supposed to benefit? One person. The population cannot benefit from that bill, and it passed because of the way the system is. There are some people that are actually doing well, but their efforts cannot even yield to anything because the system is the way it is. If I were asked to evaluate the system now, I will give a fail mark to the system. And I think that it is time. I am not a politician, but I think that when you stay in a place for too long,
sometimes you tend to be blind about the thing that you need to fix. It's natural for everybody. It's not specific to the CPDM. It's not specific to Paul Biya. And I think that it would have been nice, even if we have a change of people, even within the same party, they will come up with a new vision, new strategies, and Cameroon will be a different place. Thank you and over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph or Jacob. Thank you very much. Now, Barrister, I want to ask you this question because he has raised a very important issue. For example, let's say the True Democratic Party of Cameroon becomes the majority and the president is from your party and decide to pass the bill for an extension of mandate, whereas the constitution in total stipulate the 5 years. Now, will you as a person, based on what their conviction, vote to favor the extension if you're a member of parliament?
My honest reply is that I will not, because when you're talking about the True Democratic Party of Cameroon, at first I was never part of any political party, but I saw my president, Barrister Anyang Lewis, his conviction, his ideologies and things like that. That's what made me to join this party, and I'll stay true to my democratic principles. Okay. I'll stay true to it. The problem in Cameroon is that we project an individual more than the country. There are certain courts that you go to the court, the president's picture is up there, whereas you should have the scale of justice. Cameroon comes first before any other person. This is our beloved country. We have to leave this country better than we met it. Okay, if I vote for an extension because of my selfish reasons, what about the ordinary Cameroonian?
Now, the question I want to follow suit is, shouldn't we blame the MPs than the system? Because Justice Aya Paul was in the system and was an MP, but he voted against the system and stood out. And he came out and said, I did not vote for this extension of presidential mandate. Yes, I may be a member of the CPDM, I am not voting. And he remained and maintained and he went for presidential election, which he did not win. Now, the other members who stood and voted are hiding behind the fact that it is a system. Should we blame the system or individual?
Okay. Let me say something. Let me come in here. You're talking about my colleague, may his soul rest in peace, Justice Aya Paul.
Yes.
He paid for it. He died as a pauper. His accounts were frozen and things like that. He could not even access medical bills.
But there are other explanations to that, not the reason.
No, I'm saying that some people to speak truth to power takes a lot.
Okay, Senator Mbelamokichas is not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time. I'll quote you from the 2016 when the Anglophone crisis started. I was the first person that interviewed Senator Mbelamokichas in an interview that went viral and published on my network, and all the national newspaper took it. In that interview, when I sent one of, I was running my news agency, Town News Network. I sent one of my journalists, Christina Airport. See if she's watching now, she will remember. She interviewed Senator Mbelamoki. He was blunt on the crisis. He made his position clear that the federal system is the structure that can work. He was a member of the CPDM. That was the early days of the conflict. He was blunt. There were issues when that interviews came. I did the transcript. I was shocked, and still now he has not been penalized, but he spoke power to the truth. He spoke truth to power. We had the similar thing was when also he went to the restroom. The same thing that he said in that interview. When you go online, just Google Senator Mbelamoki on Time News Network, you will get that interview is there on 2016. Now, you also have him talking about that same issue of the crisis in the restroom. When he went there and talked about the crisis, he was blunt on the issue. The same thing, he came out and went and filmed a road which was constructed, and he showed that road and said this is not what should go. And it is still the system which approved the contract. He talked against the system. He has not been penalized. You have him again coming back and saying, what are we going to tell the people of the Southwest region for presidential election is coming? There is no road. Promises have been made. The people are calling us names, that. He still has not been penalized. Now, the issue is, why is it that other members who are of that same party, I'm not looking at the opposition, cannot do same? Why? Should we blame the system now? Because everybody is hiding behind the system.
Let me start here by congratulating Senator Mbelamoki. He's someone I did not know on a personal basis. There was a seminar I attended organized by a legend law firm on a menstrual hygiene and things like that. He was a panelist, and after that seminar I met him. I told him that, Senator, why don't you people table a bill making importation of sanitary pads free, or companies which will produce sanitary pads in Cameroon, they should be exempted from tax and things like that. He told me that when you people are done with this seminar, it's an interesting topic. Please make these proposals and send to my office. I will have to review. That's an example of somebody, I've had that personal experience, who goes around and he tells you that, bring this to me. We have very few of them who are doing that. I don't know why others cannot emulate that footstep.
No, I know why.
I don't know.
I know.
Please help us.
No, when you say we don't know,
I said
No, you say he doesn't.
I said
I
I don't.
You are not in his brain to know whether you cannot say it's a lie.
It is normal and it is sincere. People look at the consequences of standing down against something. You see, people don't want to pay the price. People don't want to speak out. People don't want to talk truth to power. When you are talking truth to power, you will discover that that thing is not even part of the system. It is some people's behavior. We have authorities and leaders in this nation who have their character. It's not the government. We saw the head of government was fighting about places here, you know. So, who are we going to be talking about? So some people should pay the price for certain things to happen in the country. Unfortunately, most people don't want to pay the price, and parliamentarians are one of those people that don't want to pay the price. They don't want to pay the price because...
Which means they don't understand their role, because paying that role, you must pay the price.
Saying that they don't understand their role is not true, because they know that they will stand on the court of law. They know what to do. They know their roles.
They don't just want
to say that a parliamentarian doesn't know his role.
No, but they don't. They don't. No.
So does that mean all the bills coming out?
No. The effective role. The issue is there should be barrister. You people are of the class which I want to speak on behalf of those who are down. Now, the truth is, if the parliament says that, there's what we call the intention must be clear, which is mens real, actus real. That's the mental element must go with the physical aspect, right? Now, the mental element says that the bill you vote for, you should come and explain it to the people. Do we need a system again to tell you that you should come and explain us that bill?
No.
They don't know their role, because that is their role.
No.
They want to tell us that okay, is there conflict in littoral where the members of parliament cannot come and will they hide under insecurity?
Mr. Davis, let's remind them that they are not innocent.
That's why I'm saying they don't know their role, because
that's why
you're saying they're ignorant.
That's why I said here that the constitution gives the MPs the powers to make legislation and to control government actions, and we, their constituents, we have that right to hold them accountable. So we have to hold them accountable. If they are not doing what they ought to do,
the people will hold the parliamentarians accountable, while they hold the government accountable. But now, our duty here on this panel is to hold the parliamentarians accountable.
That's why I'm saying that.
And then we will not forget by praising those who are already.
Yes, and the issue is
the issue is that when you go by praising, it's like you've been paid to sing praises of
no, we have to give an example.
No, I'm saying that's why at times when you want to say something,
analyst, no, able to say the good
but
and the bad.
Say it passively.
Okay.
Say it passively.
That's your point, barrister. He has a right to say, okay, to draw a contrast, to say, okay, this party and this one has done this, and I think this is good, and think this is from the conscience perspective, because the law also goes with conscience, in good conscience. That's why I always say that you have to temper justice with mercy.
Follow what the law provides.
Yes,
the conscience
he's looking at the mitigating circumstances, which is that this man is at least better as compared to this situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, happy Sunday, Gilberto from Bavusa, a parliamentarian like Wilbur that tried to represent these people is on the run. The others simply implement what the executive says. One day things will change, and this one is I greet you, Mr. Jarvis. Add to what a panelist said about parliamentarians. If you hear any parliamentarian talking in the parliament, know that he or she is from the CPDM, and all they will say is to hail the CPDM and their action, because the real parliamentarians cannot talk in that parliament. For example, where is Joseph Honorable Kemende, who were chased away because they spoke of the people, they spoke for their people, was the truth, and which is what the party in part don't want to hear, and that is why other parliamentarians cannot even speak, because they are scared. This one says, can I send a voicemail? The line is very busy. You can call now. The line is very busy. In fact, let me launch you a call so that you can actually air your mind. Okay. Okay. This one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I think that what Barrister is saying is true. The only issue is that the people themselves are not helping matters. They don't hold their parliamentarians accountable. When the parliamentarians come with a bag of salt or books, they should reject it. They will not reject it. They will take it and they will start singing the praises of the parliamentarian. This one says, you're asking why the parliamentarian cannot speak against the system host. They are against that what system has done, and go against the system. Okay. Where is Martinez Zugu? Where is Anisene Kane? What crime did they commit in Kwan Jacob? The truth is, there are a lot of things that occurred. I have to address this. There are a lot of things that occurred where people see people arrested and think that no, it is politically motivated, or there are a lot of things occurring in Cameroon, and we have seen some people who have spoken against the system and still not been arrested. So we cannot just say when you speak against the system you'll be arrested. No, we have also to be clear. You are a legal mind. There are some issues that happen that we may not see from that perspective. We're only looking at it politically, whereas in court, when evidence are tabled, there are legal issues that you see that, oh, this person maybe had. Many things are involved. Yes, many things are involved.
Before they get to you, they must have verified who you are, what you have been doing. Then they see criminal offense, they follow you for it. They don't do that.
The issue is that some of these topics, when you want to speak about it, you have to be very, very well informed, not to go over the limit of what you're saying.
Perfect.
There's freedom of expression, and there are also laws. So at the end of the day, you have to be very careful, and you have to select your words.
Be careful. Don't just talk because you feel emotional. And that's why I think many of our people just feel that they can talk. To talk is free, but after that, you will pay for it. And that's why you see we are also careful with some of the words we say, because we don't know which word, because after now these things are going to be online.
It'll be everywhere.
And yes, and some of these things are going to remain in the internet as many years as possible, and they will hold you accountable for some of the things you say. That's why you have to be very careful. Don't get emotional. And that's why we say that some people have fallen victim for that, because especially anything that has to do with destabilizing the country, you will go in for it. Say what you want to say, but don't destabilize the country. The government put in so much to put the country in one piece. So when you now begin to try to see how to destabilize it, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. So follow some principles that guides you, guides behavior, guides speeches, so that it helps you tomorrow. Now we have told you that you have the right to hold your MPs accountable. This one, government cannot come and arrest you for holding your MP accountable. Go and talk to them respectfully. Write to them, send them text messages. We are not satisfied with what you're doing. We plead that you call a meeting where you can tell us about what the government is deciding about our case and our situation. Do it respectfully. Let me tell you the truth. If you are addressing power, make sure that you can be able to use words that are going to touch the heart of power. Not going to use violence, because they have violence at their hands. They can do anything they want to do with it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis and your panelists. When we look at our root, health structure and others, without if we still have parliamentarians in this country, whom are they representing when we don't know them? Napoleon in Limbe. This one says, greetings in the house. This is Silas Nzi from Kribi. Let's go and vote. God is in control. And Okay, thank you very much, Silas. This one says, "Good afternoon." In the studio, most MP will hand most MP will be handpicked by CPDM and Bandam dead imbatable. Is the message not clear? Please, when you send us the message, let it be a bit clear so that we can actually get to read it very well. This one, right, it says, thank you very much. Your message is gotten. Barrister, now, what should be the way out for Parliament in terms of getting them to do their job, the common man? What should be the way out? What should the people expect? What should be the role of the people now in holding their members of Parliament accountable?
Well, when this question you've asked is a very, very tricky question, because earlier on I said something that how do they vote parliamentarians in Cameroon? It's a list system, by virtue of a list. So there's a disconnect between these MPs and their constituents. Most of them, they feel like they owe allegiance to the party. So they do things which, at the end of the day, as long as they are not being sanctioned by the party, they know very well that they will maintain those seats. For me, I will first of all start by proposing an overhaul on how MPs are elected in Cameroon. I made mention of the fact here that we have 180 parliamentarians from 58 constituencies. Normally, a constituent has to do with a division. Not so. I think the highest region with MPs should be the Far North with about 29.
43.
No, 29.
No, 42.
No, you have Far North 29. The second should be Center, about 28. Northwest 20, West 25, Southwest 15, East about 10. You can verify. The government lays down the principles on those representation. So now, the executive can see influence some of these things. So let's go back to the drawing board, overhaul how MPs are voted. Let's scrap the list system, because it's by virtue of a list. So if we are in this division, and let me say, okay, we have 2 or 3 MPs from this division, not so. At the end of the day, it's the list system. You start looking at where they share 50% of the vote, where they start sharing power and things like that. To me, that is archaic.
The Far North region has 29, the Center 28, the West 25, Northwest 20, Littoral 19, North 12, East 11, South 11, Adamawa 10, Southwest 15, total of 180.
Total of 180. And now who decides how those numbers are distributed?
Based on the size of population and maybe the divisions that are involved, that's
When
what they do.
okay, when was the last time a census was conducted in Cameroon?
It's about to be conducted.
That's what I'm saying. That I think, is it 2005 or when the last?
And the result has not been officially published.
It has not been officially published.
The result till 2005.
2005
Yes.
till now, there has been a lot of change.
Yes.
Some of those things don't reflect the aspiration on ground today. We have communities which have grown. So let's look at those things. If we make it in such a way that, okay, let's say Fako, you have Fako North, Fako South, Fako East. Let's say in Fako North, the people are voting for a candidate. It's not a list system. It's not a list system. Let me say, okay, for Fako North, this candidate starts, and the people who reside in Fako North, they vote for you. Not so. At the end of the day, MPs will feel like they have that connection to the grassroots. They feel like without these people, I will not be here. But when we are doing the list system, maybe in this constituency, or maybe Fako North, let me say we don't have a stronghold here. Maybe we have a stronghold in the other parts of it. I will still come to power. So if we make it in such a way that the people feel like, okay, I've been voted by the people, but the people have that authority, or they have the means not to vote for me if they don't want for me, if they are not convinced with what I'm doing, most of these people will sit up. But when it's by party list nomination and things like that, and you know that, oh, I just have to make sure that let me be in good terms with the party and I should be the one nominated. You know that as you're nominated, you get the job. Do you think these people will feel like they owe their constituents any duty of care?
Mr. Jarvis.
So you are looking at the fact that for the people to be able to hold these leaders accountable, the system in which they are being voted should be adjusted.
It should be adjusted.
Because when it's adjusted, it gives the people the full power to hold them accountable.
How do you want to adjust it?
That's why he's saying it's a constitutional provision.
No, but the thing is, I want to, because we should be giving proposals to.
Yes,
to the community.
I said earlier here that first of all we need a robust constitution which reflects the aspiration.
His question is how?
How?
Are we going to achieve this robust constitution?
By putting the nation first.
So how are we going to put the nation first?
Cameroon first, personal interest.
So how? That's his question.
Those are some of the things we're
because you in it. That's why okay, probably that's why your party is there. Because if your party wins, let's say it becomes a majority.
Okay, when you talk about the how, one thing I want to tell people is that we have this mindset of politics, nothing will change. I'm not voting. You cannot do the same thing over and over and you're expecting different results. First thing I will say is that let's participate actively in politics. The irony about politics is that when you are neutral, a person your ways matter than will take decisions which will affect you. So when you talk about how, I will tell Cameroonians that let's get active into politics. For
we are looking at
registering.
How do they get there?
Registering.
Because we have a political system in Cameroon where it's party politics, where to be involved, either you come as an individual, which as an individual candidate, or you belong to a party.
Okay.
And if you belong to a party, the party should be able to conduct an election within the party to present their candidates or to present their candidates. Now, if you're coming as an individual, you will need a lot of other dynamics to put yourself into action. We saw it in the presidential election where a lot of people declared themselves candidates for the presidential elections, and before you know it, all of them disappeared in the air because they say what? We could not have approval from the 10 states to give us 300 votes or signatures to show that we are part of this thing. So now that's why I say that how. Okay, so now the parties are the ones selecting their members and presenting their list based on faithfulness to the party. Now, not according to the community and the society, but to the party. So therefore, how do we get to this? This is what I will propose. Know people in your community, know people in your constituency. And if this year you think that your party did not select the good person, please vote the other party that has a good candidate. Don't go and vote somebody based on alignment or opposition and not like CPDM. You will have a problem. If we have a good candidate, like as I'm telling you, if I'm given an opportunity, I will still vote His Royal Highness Mr. So in Tico, because I have seen what he is doing. So if CPDM comes up today that they are voting him in Tico, I will vote CPDM because it is the party you will vote and not the individual. But if CPDM brings up another kind of person we know cannot deliver, we vote the other party. If it is SDF that brought a good person, we know their works, we will go for that. I think that is a how procedure to be able to get the best candidate that can serve the need of the people. Because we make a mistake by getting angry with systems without understanding how systems run. Elections cannot be done out of party systems. It must be done from within party. And that's why you have advised our people today that they should belong to party politics. If we are saying that they should go and vote, it doesn't really make sense to an extent.
Let me say something. Where you say they should belong to party politics,
yes,
it's out. No, it's out of it. Now, what I'll say is that be a registered voter. You don't need to be a member of a political party before you vote.
To make decisions.
No, you don't need. I'm just saying that. I'm saying that.
Yes.
I'm saying that. It starts with people enrolling on the electoral list.
And after that, who decides what happened in the party?
No,
in the
you said something about party politics.
Yes.
You can still participate without belonging in a political party.
Yes.
Okay, let me come again. We were talking on how.
Yes.
Most people, they just sit and they wait for presidential elections. Because with my party, what we are actually targeting, we want to start from the grassroots. Like the moderator said, we want to start from municipal elections. We want to concentrate on municipal elections. It has a trickle-down effect. You cannot just wait and when you hear of presidential elections, you want to come out of the blue to stand as a presidential candidate.
Yes.
For you to start influencing these things, you have to start from the councils. Do you have control over the councils? That's where you start. You start from small.
So how do you control councils when you are not having a political party?
Now, that is you participating actively. People, who are those who vote for councillors? If you're not registered, can you vote? Because during this last presidential election, I think I have a group of people who were going around Buea appealing to people to register. It was a non-partisan something. We pleaded with people that get registered. And now when it was time for elections, so many of them were regretting. If I had known, I would have registered. If you don't register, you cannot vote.
When we tell people to register, we should be careful. That is exactly what I want to say, because you'll be disappointed tomorrow because your voice will not be heard. That's the truth. That's why I say that people should be loved.
But how will their voice not be heard if they go and vote and choose a particular candidate?
You choose a particular person and the person begins to misbehave while
you wait for the person in the next election.
Next election.
No, why should we wait for elections when we can correct things in this thing? We can always attend our meetings.
You wait for the next election, but you also agree that not everybody can belong to a party politics, but they can vote.
Everybody, but you can be a registered
voter.
voter.
Anyone to decide the fate of a country should understand how politics work. Either you want to be an active party in politics,
because politicians don't campaign within their party, they campaign to the public. Those who are the silent majority are those who have the voters card and have the decision. You need the numbers, and to have the numbers and to be able to sway an election, you must have a voting card. And that's why he's saying
use that part
you can be in a party,
yes,
and you don't have a voter's card. How will you affect decisions?
No, but that is wrong now. But I'm saying that in order to vote and be part of the process, belong to a party in your constituency. Choose whichever party you think you are comfortable with. Just like now, young people may see you now and say, I would like to support you. You say, let me go get cards. That card, that day, they will give that person 5,000 and he will vote another person. That's what we're trying to tell you. But if they are in your party, they know that they have a responsibility to vote you. That vote, nobody can buy it from them. They will use it.
Even people in political parties, they still give them money to vote for other parties.
Those are yes, they do that. But
like we saw this thing in 2025 presidential election.
2025 election. In my polling station, I was one of the last people who left. There are certain things that we saw. The issue is that if you don't vote, you will not have interest.
Yes, you don't have interest to protect it.
You don't have that interest to protect it. And now when you talk about being part of a political party, some people take it, some people don't want to belong, but you can make decisions without being part of a political party by making sure that you are a registered voter.
If I come to your party, I vote you. I must be in that party to see that you represent what I voted you for.
We are almost out of time, please. We are almost out of time. I want to, your last word before we go, your advice probably about your party, your last word before we go to the public.
Okay, I want to first of all start by thanking the president of my party, my colleague, Barrister Anyang Lewis, for telling me to represent the party over this debate.
Okay.
So now, one thing I want to tell Cameroonians is that your MPs owe you a duty. You have to hold them accountable. They are there for us. They are not there for themselves. Secondly, I want to appeal to all Cameroonians of voting ages. Make sure you get registered on the electoral list. You must not be part of a political party. You must not be part of the true Democratic Party of Cameroon before you vote for us. If you abide to our ideas, if the CPTM brings something that I see that, okay, this thing will do good for the people, yes, I will vote for them. I will vote for the CPTM. You must, when you follow party lines, that's where a lot of these people who don't deserve certain things, you just vote for somebody because it's from that party. No. Let's put Cameroon above our interests, and that's where I will end. And that's what we of the true Democratic Party of Cameroon will stand for. Cameroon first.
Before the interest.
Before the interest of any other person.
Thank you very much. We are almost out of time.
Thank you.
Doctor,
all right,
thank you for coming.
I want to celebrate those MPs that are doing very well, like Honorable Ngala Gerard from the Ndonga Amantung And then I also want to celebrate Senator Mbela Moki, who is doing well for the Fako people. I want to also celebrate Honorable Malomba Esembe, who is also doing powerfully well. I want to celebrate Mayor Ekome Misoso, who is one powerhouse in politics, doing great things in Tiko. I celebrate you, sir. I celebrate all others in the nation of Cameroon who are doing well. While we want to criticize what others are not doing, we don't want to forget about those who are doing good. Thank you very much.
Hello to the members of the panel. I support the ideology of Doctor. Protecting your vote is belonging to a political party, because there are always primaries done within the political party. Elvis Mekati writing from Yaoundé. This other one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I wish you Democratic Party success from the way things are going. Let's just see how they go. If in the days ahead, we may likely join their party. Thank you very much. This is coming from John. Okay, those of you whose messages were not read, I'm sorry, and some of the messages were kind of very harsh. Some of them had a lot of insultive words as far as the program is concerned. It is also our responsibility to make sure that we respect state institutions and also respect the individual personality, that is the image and likeness which we are all created. This program will be rebroadcast today at exactly 10:30 p.m. and also comes up every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:55 p.m. If you want to be a panelist to the program, the number is on your screen, +23767643138. Get to me and I'll put you into the WhatsApp group where we always discuss political issues, share the topic. If it's of your interest, you indicate and we will call you to come and participate. I want to seize this opportunity again to wish you a very big happy birthday to you, Yvonne Akewara George from Kenya, and in Nairobi, happy birthday to you, many more years, and God continue to guide and protect you and also bless the works of your hand, your business, and your son. God should bless and protect you. Happy birthday to you, Yvonne Akewara and George. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. What should matter for you is that you should stay out of trouble. And my name is Tamai Jarvis, Cameroon's political commercial capital, Douala. Bye-bye.